What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run It Up podcast here on the Blue Wire Podcast Network and Blue Wire Hustle. I am your host, Najee Adams, and I am joined by my guy. You take it away from here, bro.
The one, the only, Justice Gregory himself. He's got a cough right now. Hey, bro. So I was over here doing my hand motions for Run It Up, and I realized that now it just only does the video for you. So I'm just going to quit doing all my hand.
That's what I'm saying. See, I don't know if anyone knows how to take the Zoom and put it into, because before when I was recording it was recording in gallery view, but now it records an active speaker. So right now you're probably just looking at my face. I'm the only person that can see Justin.
They heard me. There you go.
Now you see him. And so I got to find out how to get it back to gallery view, but we gonna work on that. But before we get into everything, make sure y'all subscribe to the Run It Up podcast on Apple Podcasts. Download the pod on Spotify. Share with your friends, your family, all of that good stuff. I very much so appreciate the ratings and reviews. Justice actually left one himself. Maybe this isn't Justice. Who knows? Let me see.
I got a fan.
Yeah, you got a fan, bro. The latest review on the Run It Up podcast. Here we go. It is from. Let me take a breath. It's from JRG 1623452025-04. Wonder who that could be. It's
no idea.
It's titled "That Justice Guy." Five-star rating, by the way. You feel me? We've only 5 stars over here, and the comment says, "Wow, that Justice Gregory is some podcaster."
Man, hey, bro, shout out to whoever that was. Whoever.
Shout out to whoever that was. My guy, JRG.
Yeah,
and,
1, 2.
1, 2, a whole bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
And so we got a special episode for y'all today. We're going to be talking about, well, first we're going to start out with our song of the week. I know I got some heat, so I hope Justin bought some heat too. I know after that we're going to talk about obviously the buyout market shenanigans, the trade deadline, and then we're going to end it out with our takes, our opinions on the Justice League Snyder Cut. So yeah, that's a little jam-packed episode for y'all, and let's get into it, bro. So what's your song of the week? What did you come to the Run It Up podcast with today?
So just so everybody knows, Najee and I, as much as we have in common, which has made this podcast a tremendous amount of fun for me, our music tastes may differ.
They do.
We both are a completely different vibe. Like I really am like light a candle, listen to music. So yes. And Najee is straight drill the whole time.
Straight drill. We sent we exchanged playlists.
Yeah.
And like you can really tell the difference in the music that we listen to, but we each found we each vibe to the playlist that we sent each other. So it's lit regardless.
Yeah. Naj reminded me of how good Polo G was, bro, because I hadn't listened to him in a while. Polo G is just almost goated, bro. He's almost goated. He's that good. Anyway, so by the way, if you're looking for the playlist, Justice Gregory, in rotation, and then if you go to in rotation part 2, that's Najee's playlist.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So
wait, bro, did you make the logo for your playlist?
No, I Googled it.
Oh, okay. Because when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's it. Maybe start looking up playlist covers.
Yeah. I just looked up the words and I just Googled in rotation and then looked at images and that was in there. And I was like, that looks great. So I left it.
Professional.
Yeah. Or you can just go to Najee's Apple Music and find it on there too, bro. Whatever you know.
As well.
I'd rather you all follow me on Apple Music than on Twitter. That's just my personal preference. Anyway, so the song I brought, and if you haven't tuned into Isaiah Rashad, you need to tune into Isaiah Rashad, Heavenly Father. And no, it is not a worship song, and you'll figure that out very quickly. But bro, I just recently, it's been warm outside, had my windows down, I was just banging it, bro. It was vibing in such a good mood. Najee knows you just get your little head bopping, bro.
Exactly,
I'm telling you,
bro, especially with the weather that's out now.
That's what I'm saying. I felt great, so that's what I got.
For me, bro, last week, Justice gave his song of the week off the Justin Bieber album, ironically, which is called Justice. And so I had to come back. So I listened to the Biebs album, and it's fire. It's fire. Straight heat. When we go to the deluxe version, he got a couple skips on that joint, but the regular version is fire. And my favorite song off that is Ghost. It is the 11th track on the album. So if you guys have never heard Ghost by Justice Bieber,
Yeah. Yeah. Najee.
if you've never heard Ghost by Justin Bieber, go check that out. It's fire. It's a vibe. Uh, and yeah, that's our song of the weeks. So we could basically just go get into the buyout market, or we could go trade deadline. Which one you gonna go with first, bro?
Before I answer that, bro, if you're listening to this and you typically leave a rating or something like that, bro, show some heat in the comments, bro.
That's a
Leave
fact.
one.
Look at you. Look,
Leave one.
a marketer. So,
Yeah.
bro, that's a fact. If you leaving a rating and review, please leave what your song of the week is. Leave what you bumping right now. That's a great idea, my
Or
man.
if you watching on YouTube, throw it in the comments. If you
That's a
scroll
fact.
past this on Twitter, just tweet it, bro. I'm gonna see it because I'm
Quote
always.
tweet it. That's what I'm saying.
I got noties on for Run It Up and Najee, so I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it. Bro, we can just hop into the trade deadline if you want. Like we said, bro, they all kind of run together. So
That's a fact. That's a fact. So, I basically have an article here with every trade. There were 17 trades that went down. Obviously, some more important and impactful than others. So we'll touch on. I'm gonna just say the trade, and then we can just kind of say our opinion. Except for the 17th one, because it really doesn't have much impact on anything. 16th one, same as well. The Warriors traded Brad Wanamaker to the Hornets. That's cool, great, lovely. The Spurs, they traded for Marquise Chris. They traded Katie Lelan and Cash. They ended up waiving him to sign Gorgie Dang. So I mean, not much there. And then the Jazz got Matt Thomas, and the Raptors got a second round pick. When the trade was initially announced, like everyone thought that the Raptors were clearing space because they did another trade with, I can't remember who it was with. And like they were just clearing up roster spots, and everyone thought that, oh, a Kyle Lowry trade is coming. It's got to be coming. This is what they're doing it for. Ended up, no Kyle Lowry trade came. And actually, before we get into the rest of it, I want to know what are your thoughts on the Raptors deciding to keep Kyle Lowry?
no, my thoughts are on the Lakers and the fact that we were too stingy to throw them THT, bro. And I've told you, I think it was like the first podcast we ever did where I told you I'm willing to move THT.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, THT is going to be nice. I know that he's got a good career ahead of him. I'm trying to make the most of my LeBron James championship window. So if I got to give up Taylor Horton Tucker to get Kyle Lowry, game, I'm doing it every time. So that's one of the first things Pelinka's done in a while that I've been like, oh, okay, I'm not with you on this one. But
for me, I was kind of on the bandwagon of let's keep THT at all costs. And talking to you actually made like I was kind of like, all right, you're right, bro. Like I want the chip, and a lot of people discount how good of a player Kyle Lowry still is. Like, yes, he's 35, I believe, but he's still a high caliber point guard and gets like that his last game in Toronto for the Raptors. They're not even playing in Toronto, but what everyone thought was his last game in Toronto, he had like the highest plus minus of his career. Like he's still a very, very serviceable point guard. He's better than Dennis Schroeder, in my opinion. And so to give up Dennis Schroeder, and I think it was Dennis Schroeder, KCP, and it would have had to been THT. We decided to hang on to THT. I would have liked to see the Lakers trade for Kyle Lowry. Obviously, it would have hurt to see Taylor go, but it hurt to see Lonzo go, hurt to see Ingram go, hurt to see D'Lo go. But you know that 17th chip made up for it. So like at the end of the day, like I feel like it was a risk reward. Like cool, Taylor can average 30 on the Raptors as long as we get the 18th chip. Like,
yeah, bro. That's the thing, bro. Like when you're a fan of a team, you get emotionally connected to certain guys. KCP was our third best player in the playoffs last year,
100%.
and that's all fine and dandy. He's not Kyle Lowry. No. Dennis Schroeder is not Kyle Lowry, and we could have filled those gaps. So, by the way, to touch on the Marquise Chris thing, I'll take a card on him if the Lakers are wanting to. You know, would it be bad for us to be like, hey, bro, like, you know,
so
Jared Dudley's hurt, bro. So like, why don't we just?
I think we got one roster spot left, and we're looking, and then we could choose to waive Alfonso McKinney and open up another roster spot.
We can't just cut Jared Dudley.
but he's that, he's
I
that
don't
good
care.
presence in the locker room.
I don't care.
Son is ruthless.
Don't care.
But I think we're looking for a 3-and-D wing, which I don't think many out there. Like we could give Rondé Hollis Jefferson a try. Did my mic just change? I think
Yeah, your mic cut off for a
I
second,
think
then
it
came back.
did. I think my mic just changed, but it's whatever. We could give Rondé Hollis Jefferson a chance, but I feel like he's more so he's useless on offense.
Mhm.
So like you're only getting defense out of him, and even then, like there's some work to be done. So the obvious best case scenario is Otto Porter Jr., but doesn't look like the Magic plan on buying him out. So I don't really know which way we're gonna go, but I trust Rob to do his thing. And hopefully we can sign a nice little 3-and-D wing. I don't think Marquise Chris would be a horrible option. I just don't. I don't know where the D comes in. So I feel like there's got to be a better option out there than Marquise Chris, but
I just like him, bro. I've always been a Marquise Chris stan, bro. I don't know why. I'm no believer. Always will be.
I feel it. Another like kind of low key trade that happened. The Kings got DeLon Wright, Pistons got Corey Joseph and 2 second-round picks. Did you have any thoughts on that one? It doesn't really move the needle for any team, obviously, but
I don't understand it, bro. DeLon Wright's good. Like I like he's like actually good. So for Sacramento, who's got Fox, they got Halliburton, they got Healed. I don't get the point in giving up picks to get DeLon Wright,
to get a,
unless you're going to move Healed at the end of the year.
I
So
guess he's their backup. Like they just wanted a above average backup guard,
Corey
but
Joseph's above average.
you're right, exactly. So I don't think the difference between the two is worth 2 second-round picks. So I don't really know why they went with that one, but I mean, eh. And then Nemanja Bjelica, he got traded to the Heat in exchange for Mo Harkless and Chris Silva. Before the Heat made the Victor Oladipo trade, this kind of looked like a weird signing, but obviously he's meant to replace Kelly Olynyk, and he's a great shooter at that. So I feel like Pat Riley and the Heat did some very, very good things this deadline. They very well could have ended up with Victor Oladipo and Kyle Lowry because they got Victor Oladipo for pennies. So I mean, had
How
good
do we
not,
not get involved in that, bro? How do we not? If that's what we're trading Victor, how do the Lakers not be like, bro, just take whoever and three
that's what I'm
picks? I
saying.
don't care.
They traded Avery Bradley. We was gonna get to it later, but we might as well get to it now. So, so the Heat they got Victor Oladipo. They traded Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley, and they swapped picks. The Rockets didn't even get a new pick. They just
Bro, I would have gave them THT and 2 picks. I'm being dead serious. Just to have Oladipo for this run.
I would have
So
if all it took was Kelly Olynyk, Avery Bradley, bro. I'll give you KCP. He better than both of them. I give you KCP and swap picks, and we call it a day. Like I give you KCP swap picks and give you a second.
like, what are we doing, bro? That really pissed me off when I saw it, dog. Because man, I might have been on here that I talked about Oladipo going
You
to
did, you
the
did.
Lakers. It's just like, bro, like, why? If that's the asking price, what are what are we
They
on?
got him for a bag of chips, bro. And so the Raptors were playing hardball. They were playing. They refused to budge. They wanted THT from us. They wanted Tyler Hero. It's crazy, by the way, that THT and Tyler Hero on the same level to GMs. But we'll leave that. We won't say nothing about that. But yeah, they wanted Tyler Hero from the Heat. Heat weren't trying to budge. They were just giving Duncan Robinson and whatever. So, like I said, theoretically, they could have ended up at 3 p.m. with Kyle Lowry, Nemanja Bjelica, and Victor Oladipo with just giving up like Duncan Robinson, Avery Bradley, and Kelly Olynyk and some bag of chips. Like they could have really went crazy, but thankfully the Raptors did not go with that. And yeah, I feel like they should have traded him. Do you think they should have traded him or they should have just waited till the
Trade a
offseason?
hero.
Nah, traded Kyle Lowry. Like, do you think it was in the best interest of the Raptors to trade him?
No, because I think the market stays the same. So, like to me, if you're not getting the offer you want and you're in a push like deadline, you're rushed. And sometimes you feel like you have to make an offer because or you have to take something. So at this point, the offseason comes, they get all the time they want to try to move him. They're not going to lose him for free. So I was just surprised that Lonzo stayed in New Orleans. I thought he was gone for sure.
I
So
was too. I thought he was gone.
So for them to say that he is now voiced that he wants to be there, but y'all voice that you don't want to pay him, I don't know how that works out.
I think he
So
said he wanted like 20 mil a year.
20 mil
And
is perfectly reasonable for Lonzo Ball, bro.
I
That,
agree, but I just don't know if the Pelicans would be willing to pay that.
I'm telling you, they're gonna move him in the offseason to Chicago.
I
Or
mean, they
he's
have to.
like a sign and trade, or he's just gonna leave him.
Some team is gonna pay him, and then because he's gonna be restricted, so some team is the Knicks
They're
might
gonna
pay
give
him.
him 20 million,
That's what
bro.
I'm
This
saying.
is what it is.
He's gonna get 20 mil, and then they're either gonna have to match or let him walk. And
Bro, there's a couple guys I thought were gonna get moved that weren't like stories. Like I really thought there was a chance that Scary Terry got moved. I thought
I
there was
mean,
a
I guess
chance.
they wanted to keep him now that Melo is injured, and
Yeah, that's what
they're
I'm
trying to
saying.
go for the playoffs.
Yeah, but like even if you call New Orleans with Devontae Graham and you're like, hey, bro, like what y'all want for Lonzo? Really? Like I got a Devontae Graham and a lightly used, I don't know, PJ Washington, like, and y'all give me Lonzo so we can bring the balls together. But, you know,
Just gotta sign Jello to the G League team.
No, he is duty. Jello is duty. I don't care anybody says he is butt.
Yo, but nah, yeah. There was another guy that I felt like was gonna get moved, but I just can't remember who it was. Lonzo was one of them, and then there was one other person I just can't get my mind.
Harrison Barnes
wasn't Harrison Barnes.
I thought he was a goner too, bro. I thought there was gonna be a lot more movement than there was, really.
I thought there was too, and it was still like low key, kind of a hectic deadline.
Yeah.
The Nuggets, they were kind of active. They got JaVale McGee. They got a nice little backup big. Hey, we if anybody knows JaVale McGee is us, and when I ain't scared of him. So they got a nice little backup big veteran. He brings a veteran presence. He's obviously won championships before with the Lakers and the Warriors. So bring someone into that locker room that has a couple chips, and let Nikola Jokic sit on the bench for 10 to 15 minutes a night while JaVale McGee does his thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of really what the value he brings to Denver. The Celtics, they were all over the place. Danny Ainge continues to, pump fake and not let it fly. They ended up getting involved in a 3-team trade. The Bulls got Daniel Tice, Troy Brown, and Javante Green. The Wizards got Daniel Gafford and Chandler Hutchinson. And then the Celtics got Mo Wagner and Luke Cornett. Mo Wagner, we actually drafted him a couple of years ago. So, cool, traded him to the Wizards. And I feel like he'll be serviceable for them. I really feel like for them, it was more so about opening up minutes for Robert Williams because, he's their shot blocking guy. And Mo Wagner can step outside the 3-point line and shoot if that's what they need. But I feel like this is really a Robert Williams move.
Yeah, for sure.
Philly was also in the Kyle Lowry sweepstakes, but they backed out quick. They was like, you know what, whatever. We need a guard. Y'all not budging. You want? I don't even remember what it was they wanted. They wanted like 2 firsts.
Thibault and Tyrese.
Yeah,
and Tyrese Maxey.
They was like, yeah, we ain't going for that. So they was like, whatever, we backing out. We gonna go get George Hill. They got George Hill. They gave up. It was another 3-team deal. The Thunder got Tony Bradley, Austin Rivers in 2 seconds, and the Knicks got Terrence Ferguson, Vincent Poirier. Poirier. Boom. And then a 2nd-round pick. So what do you think about the Sixers snagging George Hill, bro?
Well, George Hill was really good last year.
He was. I think he led the league in 3-point percentage.
Yeah, he did. And I think that George Hill is still good and adds value to any team that he's on. For Philly, I mean, when your expectation is Kyle Lowry and then you get George Hill, but does he fit the role that they want him to play? Yeah. Savvy veteran, knows what to do with the ball in his hands, can really shoot it, can play off a bin. So I'm not mad at it. There was no trade that moved the needle for me outside of really Aaron Gordon. So,
well, I mean, we might as well touch on that one now. Aaron Gordon, obviously, another. He was rumored to go to the Celtics. He was rumored to go to the Nuggets. Celtics ended up not wanting to make it work because they would have had to give up like Marcus Smart and like a first or something like that. I think that's what the Nuggets wanted. They were like, nah, we're not going for that. So the Nuggets got Aaron Gordon. The Magic got Gary. The Magic just had a fire sale. So
yeah, didn't they?
Had a fire sale. They ended up losing Nikola Vucevic, Evan Fournier, and Aaron Gordon. Nuggets got Aaron Gordon. Magic gave up Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, and a future first.
My boy Nas did some prep for this pod, bro.
You know
He's
the vibes. You know
ready.
the vibes. You know how I
He
come on
was
right up.
ready.
You know the vibes, bro. So you said you think it moves the needle for the Nuggets. Tell me why, bro.
Um, I think that the defensive side of Aaron Gordon is much more attractive to me than what he can do offensively. If you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted about how I've been begging Orlando to just use Aaron Gordon the way that he should be used. In a sense of he's not your pick and roll ball handler. I don't care what you want him to be. I don't care what he looks like whenever he dribbles at your practice. It's just like that's just not who he is. And Aaron Gordon's a very capable passer. And Aaron Gordon is a very capable finisher and he can pop. So when you're even if it's just running a pick and roll with Jokic or it's running a pick and roll with Murray, he catches the ball in the middle. He's got three choices and he can do all three of them. And I think that just adds a completely different dimension to their offense. It's not so much of uh, Jamal Murray in the playoffs, and then it's Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray, Jokic, 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 Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray.
With a Michael Porter sprinkled in there.
Right. And I think that Gordon is much better than Gary Harris.
100%. Not even close.
Yeah. Maybe not the Gary Harris of 4 years ago, but the Gary Harris of the last three. He's better. And I just, man, he opens up so many doors defensively for the guys that they're going to play. I mean, obviously he can't guard a LeBron or like the elite wings, but he can make it tough. And I think that's what they needed because when they lost Jeremy Grant, they lost every bit of that.
Exactly.
I think he fills that role almost as well as Jeremy Grant did.
So. I think I 100% agree with you. I think the Magic kind of just throwing stuff against a wall to see what stuck with Aaron Gordon, like putting him in these different situations to see what came of it. He showed some promise as like the pick and roll ball handler, but like you said, I don't think that's where he belongs when it comes to his role on a team. I think he's gonna flourish, thrive in Denver. He's not their first option. He's not their second option. Might not even be their third option because Michael Porter likes to let that thing fly. So as your fourth option, Aaron Gordon is top tier. Like you can't get much better than that as your fourth best player on the team. And like you said, I think it gives them a lot of defensive versatility when it comes to all of the wings that they're gonna have to guard in the Western Conference, especially when it comes to the playoffs, obviously. And he takes that Jeremy Grant role. He can slash just as well as Jeremy Grant, if not better. He can shoot the three ball when he wants to. And and I think that it gives them a lot of versatility, not only on the defensive end but the offensive end as well. So I think it also moved the needle for the Nuggets. Am I scared of them as a Lakers fan? Not at all. But I think that they definitely got better. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that makes them better than Utah pretty easily.
Yeah.
And I think that they would beat the Clippers again if they played them. So
yeah. I feel like we didn't really. Do you think that Oladipo made the Heat better? I feel like it kind of goes without saying, but
I mean, yes, he makes you better. Does he make you better than Philadelphia? Probably not. Does he make you better than Brooklyn? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Do I still think Boston has a chance to beat you all in 7? Yeah, they do. If you all see them, does it make you better than Milwaukee? With Drew Holiday, I actually like Milwaukee's chances against you all, even though they're traditionally fraudulent. But
they just picked up Jeff Teague.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jeff Teague. It's cool. Whatever fills that George Hill gap, So even though Jeff Teague has been terrible this year, he's just not looked good.
He started out really well.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, this has not looked good. And that may be in subject of him knowing that at some point you're going to get traded. I don't care anybody says when the talks are happening and your team's always in the mix. Like Boston always has the rumors, but they may not ever do it, but they're always there. That takes a wear and tear on you, just like the Lakers. If you go back and listen to the Lonzos or the Kuzmas or the Ingrams of the world talk on podcasts or interviews, they let you know like how much that weighs on them. So maybe Jeff Teague can get it together at a place that he knows wants him to be there.
That's a fact. Since we were kind of touching on the Celtics, they also made a move. They got Evan Fournier from the Magic in exchange for, ironically, Jeff Teague and 2 second-round picks. So what do you think about that one, bro?
I'm a big Evan Fournier guy. At this point in their careers, he's better than Kemba Walker. So
I feel like that's a hot take.
The Kemba I've watched this year, he's not better than that.
Kemba, no, I'm with you, bro.
Okay,
cool. Very trash.
Okay,
I just feel like the common answer would not be that.
I don't care. I don't care. Fournier's flirting with 20, 25.
I think he's averaging a career high.
19.8 right now, right? And then he's like 4-4. Kemba is like 17-4 and something. I don't know, but the percentages are vastly different.
Yeah,
Um,
shooting 39% from three. So
so sometimes like Fournier is just, and the good thing about Fournier is because what Boston has to do is really find an actual offense, because this Brown and Tatum taking turns throughout the game is just not it. You can't win a championship like that. You can't sustain that throughout a regular season unless you're James Harden. And neither of them are James Harden, just to break the news to anybody who's listening, bro.
anyone who thought.
Yeah, James Harden's the greatest offensive player in probably in my lifetime outside of LeBron James. And even then, at that point, he might be competing with that offensively. So, um, yeah, I mean, I love Fournier. If the Lakers would have went and got Fournier, I'd have lost my mind.
I
So,
think I think it was a steal for them. Honestly, they gave up Jeff T, who obviously got waived, and 2 second-round picks. So basically, they gave up 2 second-round picks for Evan Fournier. That's a
yeah.
steal. They just automatically got better.
But what's the benefit for Orlando in all of this?
I don't really know,
Are
bro.
are we tanking for Cade? Is that what we're doing?
I feel like the aren't the Rockets. I mean, obviously the lottery is in like July, but don't the Rockets have the worst record in the league
I
right
think the
now?
Wolves do right now, don't they?
The Wolves might. Hold on, let me tell you right now. I'm looking at the standings. The Magic are the 14th in the East right now. They're 15 and 31, and then the Wolves, the Wolves are 11 and 35. So yeah, it goes Wolves and then Pistons and then Rockets and then Magic.
Wolves gonna pull a Cavs, get back to back number one picks, you
That's what I'm
know.
saying. They're gonna draft Cade. Where's it? What about D'Lo?
But the
Like,
thing is, bro, if they draft Cade, then D'Lo's got to be gone.
but they just said that he's one of their pillars to their success.
What
So
team doesn't say that?
you're right. You're not wrong. But I just want my boy to find a home. That's
If
all I
that's
want
a
for him.
if D'Angelo Russell is a pillar to your success, he ain't going nowhere, and
Bro,
that's coming
don't
from a
talk.
D'Lo
Stop
fan.
talking about my man's
It's
like that.
coming from a
I
D'Lo
just
fan.
I just need my man to find a home, someplace that loves him. Like you just said, who are we talking about? About Jeff Teague, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Some place that wants him. I need him to be there.
I can't think of an NBA team that would just like embrace D'Angelo Russell as like a
I mean,
cornerstone in their
he's
franchise.
been on 4 now, so
If he's not your fourth best player, you shouldn't have him. He should have been a Laker. Golden State paid him to keep him away from LA last
I
year.
swear to God, he did. They did, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Absolutely. Everybody
that.
knows that.
That pissed me because he was supposed to be. We was supposed to have a meeting with him, but we was waiting for Kawhi, and here we all know how that worked out. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now if D'Lo was on the Lakers, I think he'd be perfect.
yeah, so do I. I would love to have him back. Like that was my dream.
Yeah, me
Like
too, bro.
that was my dream for him
Me
to
buying
come
a
back.
2020 Lakers D'Lo jersey.
That you don't know how excited I was, bro. Like
Yeah.
the day that he got traded, I framed his jersey on my wall, bro. So
Mhm.
to bring him back would have been lovely, but
Yeah.
obviously not. Yeah, I don't know what the Magic are doing. I feel like they just flat out tanking, rebuilding.
So it's like now you have Cole Anthony, Fultz, Jonathan Isaac. I like Fultz more than most people do.
Wendell Carter,
When whatever. Dude, I think Wendell's good, but he's
Cole
so
Anthony.
inconsistent. Yeah, Cole Anthony, Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, and Wendell, and then whoever you draft. If that turns into Cade, phenomenal. Because I think Cade is. I haven't told you this yet. We haven't talked in about a week, like about basketball. um, I think Cade is Luka ceiling. So
I feel like he can do everything on the court. Like
yeah,
there's not much he can't do. He can.
I
Do
think he's a better shooter than Luka too. So I don't think he has quite the IQ Luka has in a sense of using his body to get to certain spots to pass. He's really good at using his body to score. Very Sean Livingston like when he gets within 25 feet. Like when he gets to that 16 17 foot range. I think Cade has everything, bro, and I'm so excited about Cade, man. And I'm telling you, I think he's gonna be special, bro. So if the Magic get Cade and then you're running around with Jonathan Isaac and Fultz, who you probably end up trading if you get Cade because he's got to be your point guard at that point, and you're not gonna have Fultz floating around the perimeter.
And then do you move Cole Anthony to the 2?
Too little to play the 2 to me. What are you gonna?
So you're gonna bring.
I mean, defensively, I guess he can still guard the 1 because Cade will be. I mean, Cade's what 6'8". So I mean, I love Cade. I have a crush on Cade. That's my next guy, bro. I'm telling you, no homo. That's my next guy.
I feel
so.
Yeah, we already touched on the Magic. We don't know what they're doing. They traded Evan Fournier, traded Aaron Gordon. Now, out of nowhere, this is one of the ones that came clean out of nowhere. Nikola Vucevic to the Bulls. They also got Al-Farouq Aminu. The Magic got Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., and 2 firsts. So they got a nice little haul. They got a young player and 2 firsts for Nikola Vucevic. Wendell Carter Jr. is only 21. He's never averaged. This is what his third year in the league. He's never averaged a double double yet, but he's come close. I think his career high is like 13 and 9 averaging.
Mhm.
So and like I said, he's still only 21. So there's a lot of untapped potential still there. And then 2 firsts, you can't go wrong with that.
No,
Hopefully,
not ever.
so so that's good. And then the Bulls, they're going for it all. Clearly,
Dude, so this is my question to you, and I'm friends with the Bulls friend. His name's Drew. He was kind of on the we want Lonzo thing, which you should
Mhm.
be. If they were to get Lonzo in this offseason and they ship Kobe White and they get something in return for Kobe White, I think that puts them in the tier of the Boston Celtic teams. I don't really care what anybody has to say about it. I think that Vuke, Levine, Lonzo is extremely scary, and I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what anybody got to say about it. I think Levine is that good. I think Vuke is that good, and I think Lonzo is the best complement to a scoring guard and that there could possibly be. So
and Lonzo locks up. So that's that.
Levine's got to work on that. He's too athletic and too quick to not be able to
And
to
like
defend.
maybe
But
maybe a lot of it comes from just like being on a bad team, and the Bulls
Mhm.
aren't as bad as they have been, but like obviously still not a playoff team really. So maybe once he sees that we can make the playoffs, it'll bring that defensive side out of him. He has all the tools to be able to be a great defender. It just comes down to effort, really. So hopefully he
Yeah,
puts the effort in. Yeah, the Bulls going for it all. They surrounded that. They put another All-Star next to Zach LaVine, and he seems to be happy about it. So
and they kept Laurie.
and they kept Laurie Markkinen. Yeah, so if they do get Lonzo, you got Zach LaVine, you got Laurie Markkinen, you got Nikola.
Buke, and
So
your floor is like this. That is spread
exactly,
out, bro. I mean, I
spaced.
like that. I forget they can't see me, so your floor is like. And if y'all didn't see me, I moved my arms.
I know. I just gotta shut my mouth
Yeah,
while.
just shut up, Nash. Najee.
Yeah, nah. I think the Bulls have could have a nice little core if
A
they
good
decide
idea. A good idea.
to go and swing Alonso that 20 mil. So
Yeah.
another trade that happened, the crosstown rivals of the LA Lakers, the LA Clippers, they decided to go and get playoff Rondo. At least they hope that he can turn into playoff Rondo when the playoffs come.
He had
Um,
4 good games in the playoffs. Playoff Rondo
they said
is not real, bro. I'm telling you.
they said that he was the Lakers' third best player in the bubble. I don't believe that. Anyone that watched that series knows it was KCP. And so that's just incorrect. So the Hawks ended up acquiring Lou Will and 2 second-round picks as well as cash, and they gave up Rondo. The Clippers have been trying to get Rajon Rondo for a good little while. They wanted to sign him. He ended up going to the Hawks. They wanted to trade for him. He wasn't happening. So then they finally ended up acquiring him to trade. And yeah, they needed that pass first point guard, that true point guard that can facilitate an offense around Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And we will see how that works out for them. They were clearly very desperate for him. Lou Will hasn't been great, but giving up Lou Will plus 2 seconds, could be a little while. Plus, it's good for the Hawks because they're low key kind of contending for a playoff spot. Right now they're 6 in the East. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're at 500 right now. They're half a game. No, not even. They're 1 game back of the 4 seed. So adding Lou Will to that core is already probably going to help them out.
I missed last year when I said Atlanta was going to make the playoffs, but I'm so excited because it makes me feel better that they might make it this year, bro. Bro, listen, I forgot to. So I went back and listened to one of my old pods with Noah,
Mm-hmm.
and this is right around the bubble, right when it first started happening, and the 8 games happened, and Portland got in, and we were talking about that. And I said to him, I said, this will be the end of Phoenix not being in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited that they're up here at the top of the West, bro. It makes me feel so good
Yes, sir.
when
They are
things
the
come to
2
life.
seed. Them boys is 31-14. They're about 2 games ahead of the Lakers, 1 game ahead of the Clippers. So regardless, they making the playoffs this year, barring a catastrophic,
Yeah,
catastrophic meltdown. They will
yeah.
be a playoff team, damn near a lock. The Mavs added JJ Redick. I thought he was going to get bought out and he was going to go to the Nets. That's what some reports are saying. So I'd rather him go to anywhere else but the Nets. So cool. Mavs added some shooting. That's great. They lost Seth Curry. They added JJ Redick. Even though he hasn't been that great of a 3-point shooter this year, he still got that thing on him. So hopefully that's good for them. Surround Luka with shooters. Can't be bad. Another one that kind of came out of nowhere. The Raptors traded Norman Powell. We kind of knew they were trading Norman Powell. I just didn't know he was going to go to the Blazers. Norman Powell went to the Blazers in exchange for Gary Trent and Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood is obviously a wash, but Gary Trent is only 22 years old, and he was low-key in the midst of a little bit of a breakout season, but
shout out Portland, bro. That's such a good move. My Tate is a Trailblazers fan.
Mm-hmm.
He was like,
shout out Tate. Shout out Tate.
shout out Tate. But he was like, I don't want Norman Powell. And I was like, and he was asking me to like compare him, or not even, he didn't even ask me that. I was just kind of mad at him for saying that. I was like, I don't think you understand how much better he is than Gary Trent. Like, because Gary Trent, age also plays a part, but he's inconsistent. Unless he plays the Lakers, and he's really on his stuff.
He's Michael Jordan.
But he's really on his stuff against the Lakers. And he asked me. He didn't. I keep saying he asked me, but I told him, I was like, Norman Powell is to. I said Gary Trent is no Norman Powell, and he said, "You're acting like we're talking about Bradley Beal." I said Norman Powell is to Gary Trent what Bradley Beal is to Norman Powell. And then when Norman played really well in their first game, he played pretty well in the game against Toronto in limited minutes. I mean, he only played like 26 minutes, something like that. A smooth 13.
Quick 13. Quick.
He's just a bucket getter, bro. He knows how to get a bucket, and I think that relieves a lot of pressure off of CJ and Dame. And when they have a guy that can come in that can run the offense himself, he can't pass. He don't ever pass. He get the ball. It's going up.
He knows why he's there.
It's going up.
He knows what he's good at. I feel like it was a great move for Portland. Obviously, add some help on the offensive end for Dame and CJ. I feel like they're obviously in win now mode. They're going for it all. And so adding a more polished scorer, a more polished player in Norman Powell, who you don't really have, you don't have to build him up, like he is what he is. He obviously still has room to grow, but when you look at someone who's 20, I think Norman Powell is 27? Yeah. He obviously has much more of his game down packed than someone who's 22 in Gary Trent. And so if you're going for it now, you want Norman Powell. He can score at all three levels. And at the end of the day, the man's just a bucket. So simple as that. Great move for the Blazers. And I believe that wraps up all of the trades, bro. I believe that wraps up all the trades. And so that brings us to the buyout market. LaMarcus Aldridge was the guy I was thinking of. I thought he was going to get traded, but the Spurs ended up just buying him out. He was rumored to have meetings with the Lakers and the Clippers and the Nets, and he knew where he wanted to go the entire time. I don't know why teams get like players continue to do this. You know where you want to go, so just you might as well go there. He ended up getting signed to the Brooklyn Nets. So now the Nets have a lineup. He's apparently going to play big minutes for them, significant minutes at center. They now have a lineup of Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge, and with Spencer Dinwiddie, who might be healthy by playoff time, Bruce Brown,
DeAndre Jordan, Nick Claxton, Joe Harris.
Yeah. So
listen, bro. A lot of people are talking about like, I'm not complaining, bro. I haven't complained once on Twitter about people going to Brooklyn. Like I said, KD's beating LeBron at LeBron's own game at the end of the day. I can't be mad at it. No, LeBron didn't start super teams, but LeBron and his teams are notoriously famous for bringing guys in from the buyout market or doing what they can to add that extra piece. And Aldridge was on the
buyout market low-key be more popping than the trade deadline.
Yeah. Yeah. So he Aldridge in 21 minutes a game this year was like 13 and 7. 21 minutes. Last year he was 19 and 9. And people are acting like he's washed. Like, oh, you will have no right to say LaMarcus Aldridge is. I'm like, no, he's not washed. He's not what he was in 2014, sure. But he's still going to play big minutes. He still knows what he's doing. He's going to be in the playoffs. And I guarantee you can rely on LaMarcus Aldridge to have a 25-point game when you need him to. So, wow, I sounded country right there. You need him to. That's
I
tough.
wasn't gonna say anything, but I was gonna let you rock because you
He have
got
a 25-point game when you need him to. He'll fire. He might. So you just have to deal with it. But
yeah.
let me get into this for the Lakers fans who are mad about it. You can't be mad about it when you want all these players on your team too, and they go somewhere else. Stack the deck all you want.
I know darn well I would have been happy if Woj would have tweeted how he was signing with us. So that's it all. I ain't gonna hate on it.
That's what I'm
Only
saying.
obviously LaMarcus adds offense to that team. Defense is still sorely lacking, but
Yep.
other teams are gonna have a hard time defending them. So I mean, at the end of the day, you give and you take, and obviously you're not gonna turn down LaMarcus Aldridge no matter what. You're gonna make it work.
And Claxton is so good defensively.
He's very and whenever like media outlets tweet out, look at the Nets roster, they always say DeAndre Jordan. And no way has DeAndre Jordan been better than Nick Claxton this season.
Mm-mm.
Only casuals think that.
Mm-mm.
Like Nick Claxton is far and away, before they got LaMarcus Aldridge, far and away their best big this year. So
He still might be in terms of like complete, like what you bring
like
to
versatility,
yeah,
for sure.
So
And so yeah, the Nets are scary, 100%. They're probably the only team in the league right now that truly puts fear in my heart. But I want to beat them. Simple as that. Like I as a Laker fan, I want to beat the Clippers and I want to beat the Nets. That is the two teams that I'm out for blood this time. And
listen,
so,
bro, realistic Lakers fan. Roster for roster, we're not better than Brooklyn right now. We're not better than Brooklyn right now, and especially if Dinwiddie's healthy, we're definitely not better than Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's that's tough if he's healthy, bro.
If Dinwiddie's back and he is playing like Dinwiddie, I don't know how great of a chance we have, but I'm gonna ride with him regardless.
I think it goes back and forth, bro. I think arguments can be made for both sides, but at the end of the day, like I'm taking me and mine versus anybody. Like I'm taking Lakers versus anybody, but I would never bet against him, my boy. And so if I end up looking crazy at the end of it, then whatever, bro. I went down with the ship, but I'm never not taking my guys.
The realistic part of me just can't do it. But if I had to pick one, I mean, at the end of the day, you still have to guard Anthony Davis. You have to guard LeBron. And Drummond defensively, I know he lacks at certain parts of it. Statistically, it's just pure numbers. He looks good on defense. But the way we'll use him, I don't think he'll always start.
No, I don't think he will either. I think, and like we might as well just get into it. The Lakers bought Andre Drummond got bought out. He signed with the Lakers. I don't think he signed with us. Apparently, it's between us and the Celtics, but we promised him this prominent role, and so he's playing for a contract. And so he wants to get a ring and get buckets. Now, I'm fine with giving him that prominent role while LeBron and AD are out. Cool. You could take as many shots as you want, my boy. You, Dennis Schroeder, and Montrezl Harrell can go ahead and get buckets.
Kuz had him a little 15 threes.
He took 15, and we barely beat the Magic, who just had a fire sale. Like, but whatever, a win is a win. I'll take it. We beat the Magic, we beat the Cavs. That's whatever. Just give us our cushion until LeBron and AD get back. Because if we make that play-in, if we end up in the play-in game and we got to see somebody like Portland, bro, I'm scared, bro. Because all it takes is one Dame game and we out the playoffs. Like
that's why I really wanted us to be like, okay, you can take THT for Lowry, because I feel like Lowry, Kuzma, Trez, and Drummond can keep our head above water. Like we don't have to worry about being a 6 or a 7. So when we're like, oh, well, now we're going to bank on THT, Kuzma, Caruso, KCP, Trez, like it's just different. Lowry and Drummond and Kuzma and Trez can win you games. Maybe
I'm very scared if we do get into that play-in territory, because I think
Portland won't be in it. Portland won't be in it.
Yeah, no. So, but just total, like in a one, because I think if you're, what teams make it? Is it 8, 9? Is it 7? Is it 7, 8, 9, 10?
I think so.
And so I think if you're the top 2, you have to lose twice, and if you're the bottom, you just like it's some crazy format. But I just don't want to be in the play-in, bro, because if it does end up being a one and done, like you see March Madness, crazier things have happened, my guy.
I get that, but if I got one game for my life, I'm taking LeBron James.
I mean, so am I, bro. But anything can happen.
It's LeBron James.
I don't want to put it in anyone's chair. I just don't want to risk it, bro.
I know you remember the game against Boston. He was in Cleveland. He looked at the dude and he was like, "I'm not coming out." He ain't coming out of one of those games. But look, right now, 7, 8, 9, 10 is Spurs, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Warriors. So I got to deal with one of Luca
I
or
would be afraid of Steph.
yeah, I would be afraid to
I
step.
would be afraid of Steph.
It takes one game, bro. One
That's what I'm
step.
saying. One Steph game to send us packing, and just like that, it's over. That's heartbreaking, bro. I can't do
We
it.
gotta don't even publish this, bro. We can't speak that into existence,
I
dog.
can't, bro. I can't. I'm editing that out for sure.
And I mean, the Pelicans are only a couple games behind, and if you got to see Bizo
They're gonna
and
be hungry. They're
as
gonna
good
want to
as
end our season.
and as good as Zion has been, bro, who at this point has been for the last month of the season has probably been one of the 17 best players in the NBA.
I think he
That's
had
just
like 40 on back-to-back nights or some crazy stuff. Like
he's just so efficient, and they're using him correctly. They used him to have the ball in the pick and roll, not because he's the best passer in the world, because he's an unstoppable force. And he gets a space, and you all have to come get him. He knows enough basketball to make the right play. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with Zion. I don't care what
neither
nobody
do I, bro.
says.
And so that's why I hope this little Andre Drummond signing. I think it was a great signing. Getting Andre Drummond for free. The man is a 2020 machine, and he's not very efficient, but let's hope he can get that done. He's not efficient as your first option, but we ain't gonna be asking him to do that much, especially when, God willing, we're fully healthy. He ain't gonna be doing that much. When you got Braun and AD surrounding you, we just need you to go catch a lob, get a rebound, get an offensive board, get a defensive board. You kick it out if you need to, put it back if you can. That's all you got to do, bro. We don't need you to do too much. And when it comes to defense, I feel like he hasn't been his defensive statistics haven't been great throughout his career, but if any coach can get it out of him, I'm taking Frank Vogel. And so especially in the type of defense that we run. So I'm
I'm
cool
thinking
with
LeBron James gets it out of you. And I'm
Okay,
telling
there
you,
we go.
bro, when you step in a locker room with LeBron, you feel like you have to play to that standard that he sets. And that Lakers standard on top of a LeBron standard is ridiculous pressure.
That's a
So
fact. And he's playing for a contract. So
and if we gotta and you gotta look at the roster and be like, like there's things Mark is better at than me. There's things Trez is better at than me. Like there's a chance I'm not on the floor. I know Anthony Davis is better than me at anything I can think of. So like regardless of what we promised him, if we didn't write it in the contract that he's going to play this many minutes, I don't care.
that's a
So
fact. And so I kind of tweeted this out, but I would like to know your thoughts. We obviously, if you didn't listen to last episode, we went over our top 10 NBA of all time, NBA players of all time. We both have LeBron at number 1. If Braun beats this Nets team, is he
not a debate? It's not a debate.
He undoubtedly the GOAT?
It's not a debate. It's not a debate. And this is for I've been bookmarking so many tweets the last couple of days and screenshotting stuff on Facebook, like just because like I'm ready, just in case it happens. I'm ready to unload, bro. Because I'm still, like you said, as much as I think Brooklyn's got the better roster, I'm gonna bet on LeBron. If that somebody told me to put money up, I'm betting on LeBron.
100%.
So, dog, if LeBron beats this Nets team, that means he's beat the 73-9 Warriors, and then he beats this Nets team,
who people are saying could be the best roster constructed of all time. So
So please, I hope he does, so I can just put that debate to bed. Even though, I mean, after that podcast, even from like the people that like I'm friends with who listened and tuned in, like I didn't get any like real slack from anybody.
Neither did I, bro. I feel like it goes both ways. Like you can't be like no one can kill you for taking Jordan, and no one can kill you for taking LeBron. Right. Unless LeBron beats the Nets, in which case, if you're saying Jordan,
I'm not rocking with you.
You gotta get packed up.
Yeah. And
so I think that the trade deadline and the buyout market kind of changed the landscape of the NBA. Not in an insane amount. Like obviously, a lot of the best teams got better, and the worst teams made their decision on whether or not they want to tank or try and compete. And at the end of when the smoke has cleared, the Lakers, the Nets, the Sixers, the Nuggets, the Celtics, and I feel like, am I missing a team? Are kind of still at the top of the league.
Did you say the Celtics?
I think I said the Celtics.
Ew.
They could compete though, bro.
No, they can't.
They could compete, bro. And then
I got to see what they look like with Fournier.
Oh, and the Clippers too. Let me know. I won't discount them. They're one of the best teams in the league.
I mean, I picked the Clippers to win last year. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, in my playoffs before, I'd fill out a bracket and put it on Twitter, and I put the Clippers.
What's good with you, bro? You don't really.
What I tell you, I am a realistic Laker
Bro, I
fan.
don't care. You
Uh,
realistic. You gotta ride with us,
and
bro.
how we looked going into the playoffs
We
outside
was trash. We was
after the
trash in the
bubble,
bubble. We
and
was trash.
how we looked against them in the regular season. What confidence should I have had in the Lakers to beat that team?
Bro, you gotta have unrational
Well,
confidence.
that's why I'm irrational right now, my dog. I'm just, Lakers over everybody. I don't care
That's
what
what
your
I like
roster
to
looks
hear,
like.
bro.
So, you
And
know,
so yeah, that's our little NBA talk. Let us know what you think about the trade deadline, about the buyout market. You can either leave that rating and review and leave it in there. Tweet us on Twitter, on YouTube, leave it in the comments, all of that good stuff. We want to get some interaction going with y'all, see what y'all think. And yeah, we can kind of just pivot on into a little Justice League talk, bro. What did you think? Did you see the original movie?
yes. Do we come on, bro?
Did you think it
Come
was
on,
cheeks
bro.
or not?
I I think it was cheeks. No, because there are parts of it that you're like, oh well, that's cool. Like that's good.
Mhm.
Like when they all fought Superman, hard. By the
That
way, before we get into this conversation about Snyder Cut, if you haven't seen that, spoiler alert, because I'm gonna be
Oh,
saying
that's
some
a
stuff.
fact. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I wish I had one of those little like
Yeah.
drops where I could drop it.
So y'all just turn it off. I don't care. Y'all ain't gotta listen to the end of it.
That's a
But
fact. Spoiler alert. If you
um,
haven't seen Snyder Cut, 4 hour long Justice League movie is slit. There we go.
yeah, I'm about to watch it again tonight.
That's crazy. You about to be up until 1 a.m. Good luck,
Word,
boy.
word. But yeah, so I don't know, man. The last movie was good. You could just tell that there was something missing. When Marvel does such a good job of character development and introducing characters to you and what they mean, even if it's somebody who's going to play like a small role in a movie, even like Groot, and like Groot, like they kind of building him up and then he dies and there's a little Groot and then there's always a character development to follow along. And Justice League got introduced too many people that haven't even made an appearance in anything yet,
Exactly.
originally for it to work. So the Snyder Cut did a really good job of giving me some character development in the sense of, um, I mean, even Flash, bro, who I've told you is my all-time favorite superhero, him and Spidey. The fact that here comes the spoilers, fellas. The fact that they finally shined light on Flash's ability to affect time and and eventually time travel and all these things is ridiculous. And like the fact that they took that out of the first movie breaks my heart. Superman in a
100%.
Superman in a black suit, bro.
Fire. Black Suit Superman is fire. I feel like I feel like the thing with the Snyder Cut is the best thing about it is that everything feels earned. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we get to Superman coming back to life, like in the original, I'm gonna just say the original Justice League. That's how I'm gonna refer to it. In the original Justice League, I just feel like he comes back and cool. He just starts beating up Steppenwolf. Great, and like you don't really get the build up to it. It's just given to you, and so
Yeah,
you don't really feel like the emotional impact of it. But I
but
feel like
even
in this,
go ahead.
no, go tell you the guess, bro. Come on.
But like even them bringing him back in like that scene itself beforehand when they were like, oh, don't mix which whatever, bro, and like the thought that goes to the head and then like everything that happens, like the nightmare basically, um it just sets up a whole other timeline of things that can happen, bro. Like, which is what Marvel does such a good job at, is giving you alternate timelines and like
Mm-hmm.
things that can happen,
And like kind of
um
setting, giving you little hints, like
and open
setting up stuff for the future.
exactly and opening the door to the possibility of literally anything,
Exactly.
literally anything. I,
I
I'm so happy with Snyder Cut, bro.
I'm so happy that he got to and so if you guys don't know the story behind it, Zack Snyder was the original director and like lead on the whole Justice League saga. It was originally supposed to be a 5 movie like arc,
Mm-hmm.
but and his movie was like 3.5 hours. And WB Warner Brothers, they told him like, yo, my boy, we're gonna need you to cut that down to 2 hours. Like, ain't nobody watching no 3.5 hour movie. Turns out Endgame ended up being 3 hours and people loved it, but that was before, and they was like, yo, we're gonna need you to cut that down. Zack Snyder was like, nah, I'm not doing that. They started getting into a little bit of a dispute, and then unfortunately Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide. And so he was like, you know what, I don't got time to deal with this. So I'm out. Like I'm taking my content, I'm out, and like I'm gonna go rock with my family. So they bring in Josh Whedon to direct Justice League. He directed the first Avengers movie. Obviously, the first Avengers movie was great. So they figured, you struck gold on that one. We're going to go see if lightning can strike twice. It didn't. He did as good as a job as he could. They low-key set him up for failure to begin with. So there's that. And so then Zack Snyder finally, WB gave him like the ability to come back and like kind of finish out his vision. Like I said, the movie was 3.5 hours. The only footage that was reshot was that last nightmare sequence, like the like with him, like with the Jared Leto Joker. That was the only scene that was like reshot in 2020, bro. And it was during the pandemic. So like they brought back Ben Affleck, they brought back Jared Leto, like Ezra Miller, the Flash was filming like Fantastic Beasts. So he directed him over Zoom, which is crazy. And so none of them were actually on set at the same time, bro. So they were just talking to like stand-ins and it still came out fire. Like that, and that is crazy, bro. And the whole movie itself, if I was rating it, I would give that joint a 9 out of 10. I feel like they're 8 out of 10, 8.5. I'd probably give it. There's certain, I don't think it needs to be 4 hours. Like there's certain things you can cut out. Like the whole Martian Manhunter joint was kind of just like tossed in, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like it was just why was he?
They're just hinting at stuff, bro.
Why was he there for, bro?
They're just hinting at stuff, bro. They're setting up the future. That Martian Manhunter thing made me so lit, bro.
Nah, it's fire. It's fire. But like in the context of the movie, why was my man there? He didn't even show up to the fight, bro. He was just chilling.
They could have made it like an after credit scene.
But that's what I'm saying, but
it still fits though. I think it might fit awkwardly, but it still fits.
I feel it. Another thing, like I said, I just feel like the whole thing was earned. Like even when it comes to Lois and his Superman's mother Martha, like finally seeing him again. Like in the original Justice League, they just kind of, he comes back to life, he sees her, they fly off, and he's like, "Oh, I'm back. Like I'm back to normal." In this, like they made it very clear that she went to his grave every day since he died. They never make it clear how long it's been since he died, but let's just assume it's been months. Like every single day she went to his grave. So obviously when he comes back, like you feel like that connection there.
Yeah.
Each hero got their moment. Like we got so much more character development, especially with like Cyborg. He was barely in that movie, bro. He was barely in the first Justice League.
They made sure that Cyborg looked like a beast in that movie because he is one, bro. That is so dope to me. How do we leave out the Wonder Woman the little bank scene wherever dude's going in to blow up the kids, or if it's a bank or museum, I'm not really sure.
I can't tell either. I don't remember, but I feel like it was a museum.
Like how we leave that out, or like even like Superman, like when he dies and the yell that just goes across everywhere, bro. That activates the boxes. So out of nowhere in the original cut, the boxes just we're back.
That is such a fire like reason for it too, because like the explanation is they hadn't opened up because Superman was there to defend them. But now that they hear Superman is dead, the earth is like earth is vulnerable. So like come get us. Like it's lit now. Like we there's no one here no more.
Isn't Superman just like the baddest motherfucker that ever lived? Bro?
Isn't that crazy? Like they didn't activate because that one man was there.
Something that can destroy planets didn't activate because Superman was there.
Like that's crazy.
At a newspaper.
That's wild, bro. And so like obviously Cyborg got so much more to do in this movie. He got actual true character development. We see where he started, we see his origin story, we see all of that. Like the part where the lady was like poor and he like just gave her the money, that was fire, bro. I was like, yo, what? And Wonder Woman, she was well, in the original Justice League, I feel like they did her dirty because she was just getting like just ragdolled, just thrown around. She's half god.
Yeah,
like,
she's dope.
She can get busy. Like she can do something, and they let her rock in this movie. Flash, the fact that they took that time travel part you was talking about out is insane.
It just ruins what the whole Flash character, bro. But when I left the original movie, I was like, so Flash is just stupid. That's what they made him look like. Like he just doesn't know how to do anything. He's scared to death. Like because you remember in the first one they had to like pep talk him to go get the people and just like move them a little bit. And this
which is so crazy because when Batman finds him in the original one, he has his suit already. which means he's been doing this for a while. Like this isn't his first rodeo. Like, so now all of a sudden he's scared to go. That don't make no sense. And the thing, another crazy thing in the first one, bro. So like when Bruce goes to talk to Aquaman in the little village, he doesn't know that Arthur is Aquaman when he very clearly has the video of him in the water with you can clearly see his face. But in the first Justice League, he's like, oh, I don't know who Aquaman is. Like, you know what he looks like. What are you talking about?
That whole scene was hard, bro. Them sitting there talking and translating, and he says it in his own language, bro. And they takes him, puts him in a wall, and he's just like, cash. Like, I got some money for you. Which I don't know what he's gonna do with that money in the ocean besides ruin it.
He's chilling. He don't need.
Where'd he put that at?
Oh, he probably left it at the village. Probably gave it to the village people.
He probably did, for real. But yeah, I just, as a Flash fan, bro, this was perfect for me, and this sets up the next movie perfectly for him, which is supposed to come out next year now. That Flash movie.
It's supposed to come out 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, so it comes out next year. I need them to explain to me how he got his suit.
Yeah, I need to explanation of all the like how is, because obviously they kind of threw the seed in there about his dad being in jail for murder that he didn't commit, the murder of his mother.
Right. Which, if you watch the Flash TV show, then you're very in tune. But even he made a cameo in the Flash TV show, and he looked like he was his suit was his Ezra suit was the one that was in Star Labs. So whenever they meet each other in his little cameo, which means that he's familiar with Star Labs. So I don't understand why his suit was in a garage in that movie. Or maybe they just did it for the cameo, and they expect us not to pay any attention to it. For me, no. Superhero guy who thinks everything is a subliminal message in a superhero movie.
Bro, I'm with you, but if you, like you said, if you watch the Flash series, you kind of know the story behind how his mother died, how his father got framed. So I need to see that. I need to see who they're gonna cast as Reverse Flash. Like all of that stuff is gonna be lit.
That movie has so much potential to be fire, bro. Because it's basically taking that TV show and all of the petty little villain fights and putting them away and just focusing it on the main points, and then just.
And apparently Ben Affleck's Batman is supposed to be back in it. And so we should see my man again.
Because I'm not ready for Robert Pattinson, bro.
I want to see it though. Like, I'm excited to see.
I'm gonna see it.
I just want to see. I want to see how my son, how my son Batfleck can do.
Have you played the Arkham Knight games, bro?
I played Arkham Knight, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham, all of them, bro.
Okay, so obviously, like, we get a nice feeling of like what goes on with Robin, and then there's like stuff in like the old cartoons and the torture scenes in the Arkham games and stuff like that. And we know that what movie was it? Was it Batman vs Superman that we see the suit, Robin suit?
Mm-hmm. And it's like
jokes on you, Batman. Yeah. So like we know he's dead, but at some point he's going to be in the Robert Pattinson movie, right? Isn't that what they're saying? Like, Joker's.
I believe so. But I think the Robert Pattinson movie is not connected to the.
It's not
EU, but
yeah.
I feel like if Ben Affleck is going to be done being Batman, which he said he probably might be, but like then he said he was open to coming back. I feel like that decision needs to be made before the Flash movie, because if you think about it, like they can just add Robert Pattinson's Batman in with the Flash movie, because Flash deals with all these alternate universes. So might having to just pull Robert Pattinson into the DCEU. So Ben Affleck needs to make up his mind regardless. But I
used to hate Ben Affleck as Batman, but I got used to it.
I got used to it too. I was with you, bro. I was about to say something, but I forgot. Oh, you're talking about the Joker. Yeah.
Robin, bro. Hold on, bro. I need Robin to have an independent movie. I don't care if it's Nightwing. I don't care what version of Robin it is. I need Robin to have an independent film.
Or just have him be in a live action on screen movie. Like, I don't know why he's never been brought up in any of the Batman movies. He was in The Dark Knight. He was like, I can't remember who played him. He was that, like, they were supposed, if they did another movie, it was gonna be with him, but they just ended up not doing another movie. Yeah, obviously that nightmare scene with Joker when Batman's like, just believe me, I am gonna effing kill you. I was like,
let him cuss, bro.
I got chills, bro. Because he was like, oh, when the sickest part is when he's like, oh, I don't know why you sent a boy, and then it like focuses in on Jared Leto's face, and he's like, to do a man's job. I was like, oh.
He said, what'd he say about what'd he say, bro?
He
I
was
don't know,
like
but it was so
about
bad.
Harley. He was like, when I was
Yeah.
holding her and she was dead, and like she told me to make sure when I kill you, and best believe I will can kill you, to do it slow. I was like, yo, what is happening right now?
And then he takes the card, and then everything flashes by, and you see the card ripped in the background, like flying through the wind, which means he broke the deal. And
Exactly.
this is going to be so epic. Speaking of epic, Godzilla versus I
When
mean,
does that come out, bro? Because that's on HBO Max too.
31st, 2 days.
31st. Bet. And yeah, no, that's kind of, before we get out of here, bro. Do you know, like, an article came out about what like Zack Snyder's original plan was, bro? Did you read that article?
No, but you gotta link me though, because I'll read
Bro,
it.
I link you, but let me just break it down to you. So obviously he was, like I said, like the producer on, he was supposed to be the lead on this entire Justice League arc. Like, it was gonna be 5 movies, starting with Man of Steel, then BVS, and then Justice League 1, 2, 3. We saw Man of Steel, we saw BVS, we just saw Justice League 1. Justice League 2 and 3, he like released his plan for, which makes me think that it's not going to be made, because why would you give away the plot? But whatever. So he was so he had 2 ideas. One of them got scrapped. The one that got scrapped was, after Superman died, Batman and Lois got really close, and they hooked up, and she got pregnant with Batman's son, and then Batman ends up dying, and Clark ends up raising Batman and Bruce and Lois's son. They
But
scrap.
she's pregnant in Justice League too, and I mean the Snyder Cut. I mean,
She's pregnant in that, and then like it's supposed to be left up to speculation whether or not it's Clark's kid or Bruce's kid. But they scrapped that. They just scrapped it because people were like, that's a little weird. So his plan, like, going forward, was going to be Lois is pregnant. The second Justice League movie was going to be like much more grounded, like just kind of getting their team chemistry down. It was going to be like versus the Legion of Doom with like Lex Luthor and Mordo and like Deathstroke and all of them. And then at the end, Darkseid comes, kills Lois Lane, and then like Superman just goes insane, because like he's obviously, Superman is the most powerful being on the earth, and the only thing that keeps him grounded is Lois. So without Lois, he just go insane. And so he goes insane, and then that's where you get the scene from BVS when Flash is like, Lois is the key. And so Flash goes back in time. Batman sacrifices himself for Lois, so Batman dies, Lois stays alive, and then Clark and Lois name their son Bruce. So his name is Bruce Kent. He has no powers, but when he becomes like 18 years old, they take him to the Batcave, and he becomes a new Batman. And so that was supposed to be Zack
okay,
Snyder's.
that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard, and it's kind of hard because what Joker say to him? You're too damn stubborn to die yourself, or something like
Yeah,
that.
he was like, how many people have to die in your arms for you to realize that like that you're a coward, basically.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the arc, and Batman was gonna end up dying, and Clark
No,
and
I need
Lois'
that
son
movie.
was gonna end up being Batman. So
No, I need that movie.
yeah, bro, that would have been a sick movie. They're kind of gonna follow like the Injustice comic storyline where Superman goes crazy and just starts wilding. And yeah, so we might never see that movie. Hopefully we do. People are like chanting restore the Snyder verse, and I hope that they end up doing that, but I guess we'll see. um and yeah, bro, final thoughts on the Snyder Cut. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I love the movie. I think it should. Me and my dad watched it. He loved it. I think it should have been the original movie, but we got what we got, and it's far and away a better movie than the original one. What about you, bro?
Absolutely. 9 out of 10. You playing with me a little bit. 9 out of 10. My dad, actually, we didn't watch it together. I ended up watching it by myself and my wife, who had a lot of questions that I answered.
Yeah.
And then my dad just watched it last night.
Mm.
And y'all can judge me if you want. I think that Snyder Cut movie, in terms of the epic moments, the characters, and showing their abilities, is almost on par with an Avengers movie.
Oh, I 100% agree, bro.
Yeah,
That
if
movie
not
is
just as good as any of them.
that
So
movie is absolutely. I won't put it up there with Endgame just for me, bro, because that's my favorite movie of all time. But if we talk about that first Avengers, or like even like Age of Ultron, like I feel like it's up there. Like just as an initiative starting movie to get the team together, like I feel like it's definitely up there, one of those type of movies.
the way they killed Steppenwolf, by the way, was just completely
Sick,
crazy.
sick, bro.
I stood up. I stood up.
Like, yeah, even he had a much better story because in the first one he was just there to get the boxes. Like
How much better was his suit in this movie?
the whole CGI around him was so like he was just so much better constructed. Like it was crazy. This movie was just better in every aspect. Like
Yeah.
and so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Run It Up podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Run It Up Pod on Apple Podcasts. Download the pod on Spotify. Share with your friends, your family, all of that good stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at Najee Adams _. The Run It Up Pod on Twitter is at Run It Up Pod. Justice, where you at on Twitter, bro?
At Justice Reed 2, REID, Justice Reed 2. Yeah.
Boom. So go follow me, go follow Justice, go follow the pod, and we're gonna head up out of here. Don't forget, let's run it up.